Hello, and welcome to Finding Your High Value Life Partner, a strategy to help high value women finally find a committed, masculine life partner who is on their level. How do you actually find that man who is on your level, one to settle down with? With me, Mackenzie-Frazer. You may know me previously as Ros Ware. But we're going to be going through this quite quickly. I personally love trainings, but I don't like long, laborious waffle. I like getting straight to the point. And so hopefully we'll get all of this information to you jam-packed with value in 20 minutes. So who is this video for? This video is for high value women who have worked incredibly hard on themselves, invested a lot into themselves, and you want your relationship to reflect the growth that you've achieved. You're looking for a life partner, something serious, someone to settle down with and build a life with. If you're here for something more casual, this is definitely not for you. But you're just not finding a man who's right for you, and you have been single for years in the pursuit of that. And so the big question is, why is it that so many high value women with so much to offer, who are successful, who have invested a lot into themselves, why are these women finding it really difficult to find a committed high value man? Leaving women now wondering, have I raised so much value in myself that I've now priced myself out of the market? Like, is what I'm looking for even available anymore because I'm not seeing it anywhere? And am I going to be single indefinitely, or do I have to settle for someone who's not quite right for me? Do I have to force myself to be attracted to that person in order to find something serious? Well, no, you don't have to settle. I certainly haven't. And yes, there is a man who is right for you that is available, but you're probably going to have to do things very differently to get a different result. It's like that Einstein quote, and I refer to this all the time. It's insanity to think that if you do the same thing over and over again, you'll get a different result. If we want something different to what we currently have, then we're going to have to try something different in order to get a different result. And so in this video, I'm going to be busting why so many women with so much to offer stay single, because once you know that, you know how to course correct. You know how to change your circumstances when you're armed with the information that's stopping you from having it. And also what to do to start meeting a new market of men, the life partner men market, and how I got out of this situation and met my husband too. And so a little bit about me and why you should be listening to me. My name is Mackenzie-Frazer, and I'm a 6 years dating and relationship mentor, helping feminine, single, high-value women, women who have invested a lot into themselves. They want to have a relationship that reflects that value that they've invested into themselves, but it's very difficult to find that. And so with my unique methodologies, I help these women find commitment-ready partners. But my story has been quite tumultuous, full of a lot of trial and error, and over many, many years. I was single and really working on it for 10 years, and I tried everything that was out there. I hired all of the people as well, all of the subconscious programming coaches. I did relentless mindset work every single day, from the moment that I woke up to the moment I went to bed. Journaling, manifestation, cringy manifestation tactics as well. But I tried everything. I learned everything there was to know about polarity work, which is the study of masculine and feminine dynamics, attachment styles. I did all of the love courses. I tried everything. I went on relentless dates, like literally everything, you name it, I tried it. I even resorted to psychics as well. But it wasn't until I devised my own way of naturally meeting a man that was on my level, someone who had invested a lot into himself as well, who had a lot of ambition. Because if you're anything like me, I considered myself quite a masculine, logical, feminine woman. I'm also someone who's quite driven when it comes to my career, but I'm also someone who dreams of being a mum as well. And I like being a homemaker. That is not me 100% of the time, though. There are moments where I like to work on the sanctuary, but then there are also other moments as well where I really want to work on my career and the things that I'm bringing to my relationship as well, because the value that I have is creating an incredible, fulfilling and rich life with my husband. And so by using the techniques that I'm going to share with you today, I found a man who surpassed all the expectations that I had, because I really had a very big list of things that I was looking for in a man, but he has smashed that out of the park. He is someone who is undoubtedly loyal and devoted to me, makes me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. He's the most masculine, like supremely masculine man I know. He's the most capable man I know, the most intelligent and in the know man that I know. I trust him implicitly. He's super affectionate with me. He clearly adores me. But the best part about all of this is the prosperity that I feel with this man. That yes, I felt capable before I met him, but now having this man beside me and the things that we can achieve in the world together just feel so infinite. But even more so than that is that the rich and the fulfilling life that we have together, just that's what this is all about, and that's what this training video really is about, is that you get to create that with a man who is a perfect match and who is the perfect team mate and the perfect partner for you. And so why is it that high value women struggle to meet committed high value men? So because we've been single for such a long time and because of how hard we've worked on ourselves, we think that we deserve more and that we are owed more. This is absolutely valid. And I definitely felt this within myself as well. But the truth of the situation is that we aren't owed anything. And because we've been disappointed so many times, we end up upping the ante on the things that we're looking for in a relationship, or the characteristics and traits that we're looking for in a man, to avoid any more disappointment. We think that making that list larger is going to be our salvation, is going to be the way through. But what we're actually doing is making it a lot harder to actually find that person. And because we've become so well educated on men and divine masculine traits, we have unrealistic expectations that mean we wait around being single for years and years and years and years. And when I say unrealistic expectations, this does not mean that you have to lower your expectations and settle. So, and also because we have so many examples around us of other people in relationships. For example, we see many people in very unstimulating relationships, stagnant relationships where they're just not growing or achieving anything, unfulfilling relationships, passionless relationships. We see so much of that, that we start to think that commitment is therefore something that means we have to settle for, or we unconsciously have a fear of commitment, and we start to meet men who are unattractive, but they're clearly here for commitment, or we meet men who are so attractive to us, but they don't have any desire to commit to you. And also, because we have a fear of settling, we don't want to be stuck with someone who is wrong for us. That, to me, was my idea of absolute hell, especially being Sagittarius, a freedom seeker. My idea of hell would be to be stuck in a relationship with someone who is wrong for me and feel trapped. I would be very avoidant in any situation like that. And it was so easy for me. I can drop people like that at a drop of a hat, and I have to remind myself that that actually isn't really the energetics of partnership. And that's not me. That's me just taking the easy way out and not growing. And because I was doing that, because I had a fear of settling, I'd attract men all the time that I would feel like I would have to settle for. And so does this also sound familiar to you as well? We want men to be perfect for us. Again, because we've experienced so much disappointment, we think that if we focus on all the things that he should be, then we're going to avoid that disappointment, but it doesn't actually work out that way. We want a man to be successful as well as not be too busy. We want him to be powerful and masculine as well as be really affectionate and romantic. And we want him to be a provider as well as conscious and have emotional intelligence. But ultimately, these are not common pairings, especially in a man. Like the second one here, right? If you're looking for a powerful masculine man, it's not a common pairing for him to also be super affectionate and romantic. And so we give up on men when they're not as romantic as we would like. But ultimately, what you're looking for is a masculine man. And then you feel this sort of dissatisfaction all the time because you can never find the things that you want. But ultimately, we're looking for something that is actually quite difficult to find, especially if you're someone like me who is very familiar with the masculine traits in polarity work, in the divine masculine sort of feminine. I was looking for this idea of perfection, which is actually really advanced and really quite difficult to find. Therefore, that's one other thing that left me single for a long time, because I was looking for a fantasy. Yeah, so we have unrealistic expectations on others and target a fantasy market. Please do not think, though, that lowering your expectations means you're going to receive less. To me, this is an immature mindset. Being realistic with yourself not only opens up the market, but for me, it actually humbled me. And therefore, that humbling made me more of like an energetic match to the kind of man that I was looking for. By being realistic, energetically more ready for a serious relationship. And so does any of that sound familiar? I'm sure there are at least one or two things in there that do sound quite familiar to you. But whilst this is all absolutely true and valid, like for example, this first one here, the top one here, because we've been single for so long and because of how hard we worked on ourselves, we think that we deserve more. This was absolutely me. Whilst that is absolutely true and valid, it doesn't mean that this is an effective strategy to help you get what you want. What it does mean is that it can encourage entitlement, and it absolutely did within me. And now I'm not suggesting that I was walking around as some entitled girl who was very ungrateful. What I am saying is that there were elements of entitlement that started to grow within me because of the amount of time that I had spent single, and that I felt that in some way, maybe I am owed a bit more now because of how hard I've worked on myself. Maybe I am owed more, that there was this sense of entitlement that actually was massively out of alignment with the relationship that it was that I wanted. And entitlement, any sort of element of that, is never attractive, especially to your target audience. And your target audience is a life partner, a man who wants to take care of you. And so how I chose to see it is that if I wanted to take care of something, if there was any sense of entitlement there, that would automatically put me off wanting to take care of them. And so again, I'm not insinuating that I was, and you are, walking around being an entitled, ungrateful girl, but there are elements of this, that there are fine nuances that affect our behaviors and how we show up to a relationship, that affect the type of man that you are attracting. And so what it meant for me is that I started to cultivate a sense of entitlement. Because my list was so long, I'd rarely meet men that were close to what I was looking for. And then I'd go back on the standards that I'd implemented because I'd been waiting around for so long, dating unavailable men. Like I would go back on to the old guy that I used to date, even though I knew there were red flags. And because the strategies that I was using kept me single for 10 years, I was so out of touch with what an actual serious and committed partnership was about. My desires had become very self-serving, very conditional, and had nothing to do with partnership. And I'd attract men who were the same. And because I was studying in-depth polarity work, I had an even longer list of qualities that I was looking for, prolonging my years of search even further. And because I was really determined to change my reality, there was all this force behind my actions now, and I felt absolutely exhausted. I didn't know what else there was for me to do now. And because I had lots of qualities that I was looking for in a man, it made me think that I had to go further afield in order to find him, travel on a 2-hour train journey up to London, because the man that I'm looking for absolutely can't be local to me. I love living in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere. And so in my mind at the time, I thought, well, the man that I'm looking for can't be here. But I had this eureka moment of, hang on, if I'm here, and I like the person that I am, the goals that I have, and the values that I have, and how I conduct myself, I respect myself, and I like living here, then surely there has to be another man like me who also lives here too. That just makes sense to me. So I started to change my perceptions on the men that were in my area. And because I wasn't seeing change throughout this massive long 10-year journey, I thought that meant I had to work harder. I had to up the ante on the things that I was looking for. I had to become so much more, like be more beautiful, be more desirable, have more respect for myself, and all of those things, that I had to raise the worth and the standards that I held within myself. But one thing that I have realized is about high value women is that your problem is not upping the ante, asking for more, raising your worth, raising your standards. Like that's very familiar to you. Whether you've achieved the level and the standard that you want already is not the point. the lesson that you need to learn in life is not about asking for more. It's probably actually more learning to open up, let go of control, because ultimately a long list of qualities that you need to have in a man, it basically is saying that you want to take control of the situation. You don't think it's going to happen on its own. And it probably actually means that you need to get more familiar with the principles of partnership and actually align yourself to those. And like what I was saying before, what this really is all about is about the enriching life that you get to create with your man. And that's what this is all about. But worst of all, a sense of entitlement or a long list of qualities that you're looking for is conditional love. You're basically saying, I can only love you if you are all of these things. It's like a man saying to you, I can only love you if you're beautiful, you're really skinny, slim. And after that, if you're not that, then I can't love you anymore. Like, conditional love is not what we're aiming for here. We're aiming for unconditional love. And so when we're coming from that conditional place, it means we're out of touch with partnership principles. But ultimately, if you're experiencing any of these things, there is zero reason to feel bad about it, because it's a natural part of the process. I certainly was there. And when I realized this, literally, I changed my situation. And within a few months, I found him. And I'm not saying that you are going to find your man in a few months. Everybody's journey is completely different. But what I am saying is that massive change can happen when you start doing things differently, just like Einstein said, right? All of this stuff, right? All of which creates more and more resistance and physical challenge in the pursuit of what you're looking for. And so it's actually not a quality of men issue, which is what many women talk about. It's actually a targeting issue. Being with your life partner comes down to how you target your audience within the partnership and commitment market. And so targeting your life partner comes down to these main two things. Number one is only looking for men who are here for commitment. Disregard everything else, right? And number two is lose the list and focus on one key factor that is conducive to you creating the kind of relationship that you are looking to create. For me personally, at the time, I was looking for someone who was willing to go through the challenges that would inevitably come up in a relationship. To me, that's what a relationship meant. A relationship only survives if it can move through the challenges and the emotional, the physical challenges that it faces along the way. Like, that to me was the long and short of what a relationship was. And so I was looking for a man who was coachable. And I don't think I would necessarily use that word now, but at the time it worked for me. A man who was coachable enough to be able to move through those challenges with me. And I definitely found him. And by really embodying these two principles and really taking this seriously, I found my husband who exceeded any expectations or any list that I could have previously had. He is all of these things. He takes care of me and works daily on building a life for me and our family. And our life is continually expanding and growing richer all the time. Again, this is what it's all about. It's about creating that fulfilling and rich life that you have with your man. Like, for me, the wedding we've just had was the best weekend I have ever had in my whole life. So much to the point where people as well were saying at the wedding that that was the best weekend of their lives as well. It was so glorious, so full of love and emotion, so much fun. All of it was just planned to perfection, just in complete luxury as well. It was unreal and will never be recreated again. And now, like, we're continually like planning like what we're going to do with our lives, our careers, and all of the purpose and the meaning behind that. We're planning our honeymoon with all of these rich, fulfilling experiences that we will remember for the rest of our lives and be sharing with our children. Like, this is what it's all about, right? How rich life gets to be with your man. So my advice would be to stop focusing on how he must have all of these qualities that you're looking for, and recognize that you naturally attract the man who's right for you. Kyle, my partner, is that man who is me, and as in, he has all of the values and the ambitions that I do, but he's also my complete opposite in another way as well. He's the organizer, the planner, the one who's got all of the details covered from whatever we do in our life. I am the other more spontaneous one that brings more of the joy, the love, the affection. Like, to me, I see partnership as two people coming together who have two different skills that nourish and enrich and educate the partnership in a way. So it doesn't matter so much if your partner doesn't necessarily have everything that you're looking for, because you can bring that to the relationship and they can learn from you. So recognize that you naturally attract that man who's right for you. Get rid of that list, because having a massive list is actually one of the things that's probably holding you back, so that you can start to get back into serious relationships again. This is really important. It doesn't matter so much whether it's that your person forever. When I first met Kyle, I wasn't on my first date thinking, is this going to be my husband? I was literally actually just honestly really grateful to be on a date with someone like him. And that finally I felt like things were really changing because I was doing things differently. I wasn't sitting there thinking, is this man going to be my husband? But I tell you what, it can happen really, really quickly. Especially when you're in your 30s, and I'm 38 now, so I'm approaching 40s. When you're in your 30s and 40s, things happen a lot faster because you both know exactly what you want. You're so much clearer about what that is. So you don't have to necessarily worry, oh my gosh, is this going to take a long time for the relationship to progress? Because we got engaged a year and a half into our relationship and were married by our 2-year anniversary. So it can happen really quickly. But I think it's really important for people, for women who, especially if you haven't been in a serious relationship for a while, is to try and get yourself into another one as quickly as possible. And I know that there's probably massive fear around that, in that, oh my gosh, I can't just go with anyone. I have achieved something that I really wanted for myself when I've thrown myself at it, and I've still got all of these fears that are, whizzing through my mind. Am I going to settle? Am I going to settle? But it's like, it doesn't matter, because this needs to happen now. I'm ready to, I'm ready and open to whoever comes my way next, and know that it's meant to happen. I know that I'm meant to meet that next person because of something that I'm meant to learn, or I'm ready now, like, send this man this way. And doing all of these techniques, I found my man. I got realistic about what a life partner looked like. I did not expect him to be perfect, absolutely. But it turns out he was more than perfect for me. And I was very open to what came my way and let coachable make my decisions. And so if you want to find your life partner, then I invite you into my 6-session mentoring package for single, high-value women ready to attract a committed life partner. In these 6 sessions, we will assess the current men market that you're in, why you're attracting that kind of person, and how you're going to course correct. The second session is targeting this new life partner market and how you're going to see more of these men start showing up for you. Number 3 is assessing your contributions and your tangible value in a partnership. When you are very aware of what your tangible value is, you're able to attract a much higher value man. In session 4, we will go over your individual strategy for finding your life partner. This is actually quite simple. It's meant to be very simple so that it's easy for you to embody and implement and refer to in your mind as you move through life. We'll also go over dating app and matches, reviews, any men that you've gone on any dates with. I also highly encourage that you do use dating apps, because I think you should be utilizing all resources at your disposal. So that's men in real life as well as on apps, because apps reach areas that you can't physically. And number 5 is the new life partner market review. So looking and assessing all of the dates that you've been having so far, the type of man that you are connecting with, and how you're connecting with him, like your communication. Is it creating more connection with him, or is it creating repulsion? And then number 6 is creating a sustainable plan forward for you, and whether more mentoring with me is right for you. So like these ladies did, these 2 incredible women who have so much to offer, but were just attracting men that were just wrong for them. Like Kristen, who always felt like dating was a disappointment and attracting unavailable, unhealthy men, to then going into a new era almost, where she was attracting men who were just showing up, wanting to provide for her, wanting to help her achieve the things and the massive challenges that she was experiencing in life. and just seeing men in a whole different light and attracting a completely different person, as well as Lauren, who was attracting men who were very unhealthy and just didn't want commitment. But now through working together, she's able to attract high value masculine men that possess the qualities and the level of character that was important to her. And so next steps, if you want more details about this program, the pricing, I haven't included the pricing here because at the moment there is a massive discount, which won't be available forever. And I want to keep showing this training in the future. So if you want more information about what's included, more testimonials, and checking whether this program is right for you, because it is not for everybody. This training is for a very specific type of person. I cannot help everyone, and I don't intend to, and I don't claim to be that arrogant that I can, but I can help a very specific woman with a very specific problem. And it's really important that you check that that person is you, to check that this is right for you. And so for all of that information, just head to bit.ly/Roz sessions, and you'll find everything that you need there and how to apply. So thank you for being with me today. I hope you got lots of value and clarity from this. And if that's the end, then I hope you enjoyed this. But if not, I will speak to you soon, and I cannot wait to hear from you.